I am EagleNick, and this morning I am up here by the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department. Now, when I was arrested by the Dalton City Police Department on April the 18th, I was housed in this building right here, I'm pretty sure. I was housed in the D block. Yes, the way I came out, when I came out, this would have been where I was housed. I think the one to the left here is D block, or it could be the one farthest over to the right. You see they have a serpentine fence all the way up to the actual jailhouse itself. Normally, I'm at the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department. Before the pandemic, they would be inmates having visitation today. But because of the pandemic, they stopped in-person visitation. And the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department never resumed in-person visits for the jail. I mean, it is so bad now. Do you realize that inmates in the Whitfield County Jail cannot even receive mail? You cannot even send out mail. I was in there for one night, about 36 hours, and they made it as rough on me as they could. You see right there in the center, that is the control tower, where inside that they're able to be down in there and they can see into all of the cell blocks. They have them built into pods. I'd like to give a shout out to the inmates in cell block D. This is EagleNick Audits. I am EagleNick, and you can see that I wasn't high. I seen one of the inmates out on the street that I was locked up with, and he said they thought that I was high as F. But I was not high at all. I was mad for being illegally arrested, for them illegally obtaining a trespass warrant without ever officially issuing a trespass on me, because I never committed a crime for them to actually obtain my name. They only obtained my name through my open records request and my YouTube channel. And to beat it all, to be so dirty, the city of Dalton Police Department gave Postmaster Constance Long at the United States Post Office in downtown Dalton EagleNick's name and address, and the postmaster has been holding up my mail. A lot of people's been saying, you're going to go to jail. Well, I have already been to the jail on the inside, so now I'm back out here on the outside. And I'm fixing to head up the hill to see if I can't record the front. I will not cross. You see the sign up there, it says guard line. So that is the official point that if you cross that line, that you could be arrested. I have my bicycle. Yes, that is the jail that I was in, the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department. Now, the election is coming up, re-election, the election for the Whitfield County Sheriff. And all of our offices, make sure that you're registered, that you make sure you go vote. Now, I'm pushing my bike. I'm sorry it's a little bouncy. It's sort of hard to hold the phone still while I'm walking. Overlook the shakiness. I'm on the edge of the curb here, see? You see the bumps? It makes the phone sort of shake. Here's the sign. I will leave my bike right up here. I'm sorry I'm getting a little out of breath. You see, this is a steep hill. I've done come up that much. I'm almost up there. Like I said, this is a steep hill and I'm pushing my bike. Bear with me just a minute. All right, here is the guard line. All this out through here is public access. Here we go. 8:05. Where they took me around to, it's around that side. You drive up where the little road you see at the end. They take you inside the Sally Port. That was somebody just getting bonded out up here. I'm still trying to catch my breath. How you doing, sir? The Whitfield County Sheriff's officers, it's always been cordial. It's the city police department I seem to have trouble with. But I came up here because, you know, the city police department had them treat me very roughly. And they did. I was treated like crap over a misdemeanor, criminal trespass, damage of $500 or less, Class B misdemeanor, with original bond it set at $400. Now, when I went to first appearance, the fella who represented the state, he opposed an OR bond. Now, the public defender worked and got me down to a $50 cash bond, but EagleNick audits could not even make a $50 cash bond, even though I had the money on my Cash App card and my property downstairs, and I had let them know I could have made the bond right off the bat if they would have processed me and gave me the opportunity to try to get a bond. They kept me locked up from like 12:30, 1 o'clock when they brought me up here till 7 or 8 o'clock or later in the evening before they took me out of the holding cell to even give me an opportunity to try to call a bondsman. Now, the bondsman is on duty 24 hours. Look, you can see a old sign for an old bondsman right here that is, I don't think it's even in business no more, but they all say 24-hour service. But they are not at their office 24 hours. They're only there during the work day, the regular work schedule like everybody. And then you can call them and wake them up. Now, when I did finally get in touch with a bondsman through another inmate, used his money to call a bondsman and get the bondsman on the phone for me. When I told that bondsman my name, He told me he wasn't in the office to call another bondsman and hung up on me. I mean, they got it where the bondsmans won't even sign a $50 cash bond because they do not want to go against the police chief. They do not want to go against the postmaster at the downtown Dalton post office, who is so corrupt that she has stopped my mail delivery for 40 plus days now. I think it's time for our senators, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, to stand up for the rights of the citizens. I think it's time for Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is in our U.S. House of Representatives, to stand up for all her constituents, not just the rich. I am a Republican, but party affiliation should not matter. This is the United States of America. We are a republic. We are not a democracy. When this country was founded, the Constitution states that we shall have a Republican form of government. Now, there was not a Republican Party. There was no party affiliations when the Constitution was written and when this country was founded. The Democrat Party was the party who wanted slavery. The Republican Party, the political party Republicans, was formed to stop slavery, to end slavery. Now, Georgia turned up its nose at the federal government when slavery was abolished with the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. And Georgia enslaved the whole state of Georgia by making us a at-will work state, not a right-to-work state, meaning you can quit when you want or they can fire you when they want. The state of Georgia has $11 billion in surplus. $11 billion Governor Brian Kemp has in surplus, and yet he refuses to expand Medicare. He refuses to help the poorest of the poor, the homeless. They're only for the rich. They're only for their own kind within the government. Our government is corrupt. It is time we, the people, stand up for our rights. You see that flagpole over there, they're flying the American flag and the mission in action, the prisoner of war mission in action flag. Now, like I said, I've not had no problems with the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department, except for the fact that a horrible stay I had up here in the jail. You see that sign there? It says restricted area, no public access. Like, really, who the fuck would want to come up here and be messing around in a jail? And I'm sorry that I used that word, but it just seems ludicrous. And ludicrous, if you're watching, that don't mean I'm calling you like you come into commercial. But if you do, how about singing us the song Fat Rabbit? EagleNick likes ludicrous and he likes the Fat Rabbit. I want to give a shout out to all the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department officers who watch my videos every day. And I pray that you will continue. Don't let my live stream from up here where you work stop you from watching my videos. I'm calling out the postmaster in the city of Dalton for the awful treatment. Whitfield County, yes, sir, that is right. I hear a bunch of sirens now. They're coming. You hear them? I don't know why they'd be sending sirens. They should have plenty of them right here. But I was either on this end or the other end because I could see down toward this way. But I was on the very top. I was afraid they was trying to get me up there so they could throw me out and kill me. They had me assigned to a top bunk. But I didn't feel safe in there on the bunk, so hell, I just slept on the floor. Because I didn't want them to have no inmate throw me off my bunk and kill me, you know. I ain't talking about the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office have it done, but the postmaster or the police chief or Lieutenant Bishop, and now Lieutenant Locke with the Dalton Police Department, the one who arrested me. And like I said, the election is coming up soon. Darren Pierce, Republican, is running for sheriff under the Republican Party against Sheriff Scott Chitwood, a Democrat. So look, you'll see this is where they take you into the Sally Port. If I hurry, maybe I can get up here and see it because I'm not across the guard line because this is a road. This is the Whitfield County 911 center right here. You see the gate over there to the side? That big old fenced in area, they got a place over there where they got doors you pull into. It's called the Sally Port. There's one just came out. Now he acted like he was going to turn, but now he's going to come on up. See, the guard line is still in the same place. It's not moved. You see, they had the black county vehicles, but they still got the brown wrappers. That is the 911 center right here. See the vehicle there with the marker, and the Whitfield County Health Department is the building you see right through there past them little trailers. But of course, you can't actually see the Sally Port. The Sally Port is out of view, and that little hill would block it. So, you know, I'm not going to walk down on their past their guard line because, you know, you can be prosecuted, violators of the guard line. Now, I could go into the public parking part, but EagleNick's not going to take no chance because, you know, I don't know what the city police chief and the city of Dalton has in store. You see, I've been running for 19 minutes now. I've not had no contact, and I can guarantee you I won't while I'm live. But once I go where I'm not live, that could change at any time. Doing great. How you doing, sir? See, that is courtesy and respect right there. Like I said, I've never had any trouble with the Whitfield County Sheriff's Department since back in the 1990s. No, I don't think I'd want to do that, brother. That would be destruction of government property. That would be criminal trespass. Damage of $500 or less because they'd have to have their car washed. You know? Even if you cause them to have to wash your car, they consider that damage to where that they could arrest you and charge you with criminal trespass. Now look, I want to address something while I'm still on here live about our GOP legislature here in Georgia recently passed a bill that went on Governor Brian Kemp's desk sometime right after February the 9th, the day that I actually did my First Amendment audit, exercising my rights at the United States Post Office, that our Georgia legislatures had added 30-something crimes to have a cash bail in order to get out. In other words, doing away with OR, on recognizance bond. Now that is their way of keeping the homeless people and the poor off the streets. If they arrest a homeless person for loitering or prowling or panhandling, they can keep them locked up because they don't have cash to make a cash bond. So, therefore, how can you make a cash bond without cash? And now our state legislator, Casey Carpenter, who owns the Carpentry Hotel downtown, it did not say how he voted on that bill, but seeing how I did videos covering the kickbacks that's possibly been paid or being paid because of the Carpentry Hotel being built, because the Dalton Trade and Convention Center never built no hotel, you know, I'm sure he signed off on that bill. And maybe even he was the one had whoever supposedly sponsored that bill. He was the one who wrote it up or had them to write it up and just didn't put his name on it because that would show a direct conflict of interest because of my videos regarding Mr. Carpenter and his Carpentry Hotel in downtown Dalton, Georgia. Make sure, and guess what? Unless a bunch of you don't know, unless you've been under, and you could have been under a rock, former President Donald John Trump was found guilty on all 34 counts. And I, for one, will be voting for Donald John Trump, along with millions of other Americans. We will be voting for Mr. Trump. They used the COVID pandemic against Donald Trump to stop him from winning his re-election. Now they're trying to use court and conviction. The American people are not stupid. We're not illiterate. We're not fools. We can see what's going on and what's been going on the whole time. The day that Donald John Trump was being inaugurated, just right down the street from his inauguration, they was burning stuff in the streets. They burnt stuff down, killed, looted, rioted, stole. The whole 4 years of his term, all in Democrat-led states. Minneapolis, Washington, New York. It was horrible. And then when the Republican-led states try to do stuff about crime, the Democrats want to cry. But it is time we stand up for our rights. Make sure you go to the polls and you vote. Study the issues. Find out who's running and what they stand for. Find out what their record is on what they say if you can. Try to make an informed decision. EagleNick audits. I am EagleNick. And I hope that y'all all have a blessed day. And you never get caught up and stuck in some place like this, like they did to EagleNick. 11 days after I got arrested, I went to the city police department and got my phone out of the evidence where Lieutenant Locke confiscated, stole my phone under the pretense of saying they was going to be looking for evidence of my crime. The video that was supposedly the crime I committed was already on my YouTube channel, and I told him. The video ended after 2 minutes and 47 seconds when I was resting on the post office box 666, the mark of the beast or the tyrant. And our postmaster, she wouldn't identify herself 2 or 3 times when I asked her, but I found out her name is Constance Long. Chooses to play games. EagleNick don't see it, he don't beg, he don't roll over, and he don't play dead. EagleNick is loyal, faithful, and true. EagleNick picks up cans just to try to get by. I don't get food stamps or welfare or any kind of government benefit. EagleNick audits. I am EagleNick, and I'm out.